There we go.
Takes you right back.
Look at that. I mean, that's like the big board, like you got up here, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
like
these old school shapes. There's nothing quite like just throwing on the VHS on the CRT. Like, no kidding. And having kind of that real experience while you're like working here. I usually set up a board or something. I'll put on film or something.
go. Come on, I don't want to wreck yet.
Over the summer, they were yard sale finds, fairly inexpensive. So I grabbed them. Love the wood grain on this one, so I was pretty excited. These two right here, he had a couple larger ones that were almost too big to handle, so I left them.
We're going to take this wonderful minivan out to my buddy Jeff's house. You guys remember Jeff? He was the guy who gave us a couple of Sony CRTs about 8 months ago. That lovely wood grain CRT that was from Sony and another one. But we're going to go back out there. Jeff's got some more CRTs for me. He's also got some new cool things in his collection that he wanted to show off. So we're going to go out there and see what he's got. And we're going to get some free CRTs. And I'll show you some other free CRTs I picked up recently in this fun video. So let's just go ahead and get over there and see what Jeff's up to. The ride to Jeff's house is a nice roll through the countryside here in Virginia. And while we're on our way out there, I just want to mention, you know, this job of procuring and restoring CRTs, it is such a great thing that you can have a community where you meet people like Jeff. And Jeff and I have become pretty close buddies. We keep in contact quite a bit. Talking about CRTs that he may find that he wants to work on and keep, and if he finds things that are beneficial to me in some way, he always asks me. And it's great to be able to have friends like Jeff, just not only people that are also able to help me find CRTs out there and save them, but also just, you know, creating a good friendship with Jeff. It's been awesome over the past, I'd say 1.5 years now. So. All right, well, we're back here in a familiar territory, Jeff's basement. Jeff's with us.
Hey, everybody.
And Jeff's kind of like the secret CRT dealer here for me. And he's got a lovely bunch of CRTs actually set up that he's picked up for me from random things. I was going to see if he would just give me the lowdown on what we got here and where it came from, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Sure thing. These two right here, over the summer, they were yard sale finds, fairly inexpensive. So I grabbed them. Love the wood grain on this one, so I was pretty excited. Was a little less excited when I saw the picture. It's kind of dull and not as crisp as some of these other displays. This one looks great. This little guy right here. Then a friend of mine was cleaning out a house, and he let me know there was some TVs over there and sent me some pictures. So I met him, got these two right here. He had a couple larger ones that were almost too big to handle, so I left them at the house, but got those two. And then just this past Saturday, got this one at a yard sale, also fairly inexpensive. So,
oh, nice.
And yeah, all of them working, so.
Well, that's always nice. So we just run around here and like take a quick look at just some stuff here on what we have. 20-inch RF and 14-inch Toshiba. And then the Sony's like an FS100. That's pretty new.
Yeah, I think
it's got all the way up to composite. Oh yeah, here's those.
Or something like
yeah, that's like 2002. And then we've got the wood grain here, which is, like you said, looks pretty sweet. Quasar, yeah, okay. And 1989. And then finally this little guy, which is an interesting one. 2000, huh? It looks like it would be older than that. See, we got him, looks like you got him hooked up in like a loop.
The very first smart TV.
Yeah,
that,
so
as it claims.
This smart TV, right? I wonder how smart it actually
All it
is.
has is RF input. It's not.
Yeah, that's
smart.
crazy. So like, I actually RGB modded a little bit newer one of these and sold it at the convention we were just talking about, the Retro World. But this one is like before that one, so I don't know. That one had composite video and it needed that for the mods. So it'll be interesting to see if it's just like missing on this. It's like a super cheap model or something. So what do we have? Like, you got like, I'm looking over here and all these CRTs look awesome, and then I suddenly see something like really cool here, which I'm guessing we'll see here in a little bit. But before we even talk about that, let's well, you got like, looked like you had them hooked up to some kind of a loop or something.
Yeah, with power field.
Okay, cool. So just like, I was checking this out. It's like got a splitter here. Cool.
How far we could go with it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'll be one short. I'll switch it over.
No, yeah, we'll see.
And that way the cluster will be all together. Is this one turning on?
Here, I'll see if I can get one of these to... Yeah, here it comes. Look at this. Series LXI, personal television. That's cool. I've never even seen that one. That's like super late model. All right.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Man. Okay. So I see what you're saying here. This one's probably just got to be some, I mean, it's got to be some adjustment stuff going on here on that.
Yeah, I wondered about that. If that one could be adjusted to have a nice picture.
Yeah, like there's, oh yeah, here's some stuff down here. I wonder.
Yeah, it would be great because it's very cool looking TV.
Oh, like it even has that, like, yeah. Okay. We're getting kind of closer. I feel like it definitely needs a. Okay, like probably. Interesting. That's very cool, though. I think we can get it cleared up. Man, that loop looks like kind of clean right there on the video. That's nice. Yeah, so what's it all hooking? Like, is this hooked up onto this? Did you figure this thing out?
I did a little bit.
Oh man, show me what you got here.
Yeah, so I'd always kind of had in my mind I'd like to add that to the collection, and then I thought just for display purposes, but as soon as I got it, I was like, I want to see if it works. So you have these ultrasonic sensors here.
Okay.
There's 3 of those. They fit as good on this television as any other.
Here, let me step over on this side from you. Okay.
So they fit good on this one. So I was like, we'll use that for kind of getting it. So the sensors go directly into the NES and into the first port, and then the glove goes into this little module here. And I mean, I haven't quite figured this out, but I have been able to at least get it to do a little bit. So so we start here, and then you put in the program number and hit enter, and then let's see, this will center it. It says, so then start. Okay. All right. Here we go. See, I'm not making any promises here.
This is just incredible.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just trying to do what they did in the movie. It's not good.
Oh man, that is so awesome, man! I can't believe it. I've like never in my life seen one of these working in my real person.
Yeah,
this is like the coolest setup.
I'm having a little difficulty because you're supposed to like make a fist shape here.
Yeah.
In order to accelerate, but
so it's supposed to be like you're pretended basically to hold like a wheel kind of effect,
but
I guess.
I've noticed that if I make a fist shape, it usually applies the brake. So, so I'm just sort of like putting my hand out like into this. But yeah, you veer a little this way. Oh, actually, interesting. All your feedback for what's happening is being displayed right there. So you can see, like if I tilt my
A, B, I see. So it's telling you what you're like actually
what
using.
Inputting, yeah.
Oh, so, wow.
So like if I press the B button here, I can see that it's illuminating there, but I think if I pull Okay, so that's why I'm applying the brake. When I pull in the trigger finger, it says that's B.
Okay, let me see there again.
I read in the manual if I hit enter one more time, it'll reverse that. Okay, so actually, if it did reverse it, so now we might be able to make the fist shape. So
I saw, yeah, you made the fist and it went the other button.
Okay. All right, so now I'm... Okay, I think I'm driving. Well, that's about how far I made it last time.
Yeah, no, my goodness, that's so great. Yeah, like sure. Okay. Here, let's set it up. There we go. So I suit yours in here, okay? Go! Come on, I don't want to wreck yet. Come on. Oh! Oh man, that is like crazy, dude. Holy moly. Okay, let's get faster. Come on. Oh, come on, get back. Oh,
no, you ran out of time.
All right. That's pretty darn sweet. All right, we're going to check back in with Jeff in a moment and look more at his collection, but we need to get into some details first on this CRT lot. I paid Jeff $80 for the total lot of CRTs, and that was really just a finder's fee. He didn't want money, but I knew he had some expense in keeping these at his house and getting them for me, and I'm sure he had to pay like some money at some of those yard sales to get them, so I wanted to give him that, and actually I was able to get rid of almost all of these CRTs. If you look here, the 20-inch one, that was the Smart Series TV. I sold that at an event at James Madison University, and there's a video all about that festival I had, and I'll show you. You can check that out here. But then I also had two of those 13-inch CRTs that I was able to sell as part of a lot to a marketing firm, and I can't really get into the details on what the TVs were used for, but all they specified was they wanted CRTs that would display an image from a computer or like a DVD player. And thankfully, you can take a simple device like this and get it off Amazon, and it goes HDMI to RF, real simple. It also does RCA. Anyway, these devices work perfectly with these old TVs, and it gave these marketing companies a way to use these TVs in the way they wanted. And I was able to turn a pretty good profit. So I was able to sell the 20-inch CRT for $100 at the JMU booth. And then I was able to package the two 14-inch CRTs with another 3 CRTs for the bundle on the marketing group. And I got $1,400 for that whole bundle. So I did have to put some hardware in there and include some instructions. I did work on the TVs, but I was able to turn around and get a good profit for them. So I would think about $250 a piece is how much I was able to get for these 2 CRTs from this load. And so I had one more that was actually donated to me from my daughter's school. It was one of her teachers had found this in the dumpster and asked if I wanted it, and I took it, and I also included this in the marketing package. So let's take a closer look at Mr. White's donated CRT. Hey there, everybody. First off, if you hear any snoring in the background, that's just my little friend over there, Cole. He's pretty much knocked out over there in his bed. And there's a bunch of background noise from shop stuff like construction in the area, which is surprising, but that happens. Today we're looking at an RCA color track TV. It's quite dirty. This is a wood grain TV, but it's not real wood. That's plastic. We're using it in RF because it's an RF only television. The screen's 19 inches in size diagonally. And we're going to use this Nintendo that has the Game Genie. And there's our RF input right there, our lovely RF input antenna. The cool thing about this one is it's the Thompson Consumer Electronics Group in RCA, which undoubtedly means that this may have a very nice tube inside of it. But the issue, I'm sure, is going to be that it's either a hot chassis, not moddable chassis, RF only. Now, the interesting thing about this TV is it has this weird thing that occurs when you turn the volume up, where the screen dances. So let's see. If I press start here, there is no sound right now. No sound at all, and the image is quite solid. I'm going to turn the volume up. Okay, all right, we've got the shell open, and it's pretty decent looking TV in here, nothing too fancy. The yoke looks pretty nice. There's no adjustments really available for it. All right, solid. Everything's solid on there. That's not the Thompson tube, it's an RCA tube. There's the tube number. And I should just be able to pull this out. Not a whole lot going on. It's a pretty simple neck board. Our RF input over here. Okay, up here at the yoke, the vertical side is over here on this end, and you actually remove it up here at the yoke, and then this is the horizontal side of the yoke, because the yoke is two windings there. So take that off, and then that's actually soldered into the board there. So just get that out of the way. Pretty simple to get that whole board out, and then just need to do the most dangerous part. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I was able to pull that board and pop the cap without actually discharging it. Let's see if we get a good zap. Oh, I bet that was a good one. Look at that. Oh yeah, lots of zappy zaps. Oh yeah. This is all one big board on this CRT. Got a pretty nasty burn spot here. Looks to be a diode connection point. And definitely will clean this up. I don't think this is probably our issue. However, I did look over here. I see some like sound stuff right here marked on the board. That is this large capacitor right here, and it's reading funky, like not wanting to read very well. So I'm going to pull it, and then we're going to pop it over here on a couple of these testing tools I have set up. We're going to see what it looks like out of circuit. Replaced a couple of capacitors in the sound block that were reading high on the ESR meter. And we'll take a look at those out of circuit here in a second, but I went ahead and replaced them. Right here, this one and this one were bad. This one was actually okay, so I returned it to circuit. And I reflowed the solder over here that you saw me doing there. That's been cleaned up on the solder side. Now, I'm not going to clean any of this till after I do all the testing and see if we've got it repaired, because then I'll just have to clean it again and again and again. So let's try to get a reading on this capacitor right here. And if this tool doesn't, oh, there we go. Well, 0.5. So it's not completely blown. This is a 100 UF capacitor, which means it's up in the yellow, which just means that it's kind of suspicious. Not that it's fully blown out. We'll see. This one's a little higher. 0.6 on the meter, which is again up in this yellow. Sorry. Let's try the other meter here real quick. Alright. So this is still reading 97. Of course, it's up there a little higher on the ESRs. It was saying 0.8. 93.9. So those are right in the yellow. I mean, they're probably fine. I don't know if that's the difference. Maybe hopefully it's just the solder connection. Let's hook the TV back up and see what happens. And you can hear that the TV is back together and it's running. And I did clean it up a little bit. But there it is. The bouncing is gone. And let me turn the volume down. I've tested it with the volume all the way up, but now it's not bouncing at any volume. What I did was, of course, you saw me replace those two audio capacitors, and then we checked that big one in there. Let me power this thing off, because this sucker is like, it's a hot chassis or something. We're going to turn it off first, and then I'll get a little closer in here. So that's where the audio circuit is, where that's the speaker right there, connection. There's the capacitors that we serviced. This potentiometer right here is labeled AFT right there. Well, I started to like twist it a little bit after I serviced it, and that's what really caused, I think, the whole shaking problem was something along that circuit. So what I did was I just spun that a little bit till the screen cleared up, and that got it. So AFT stands for automatic fine tuning, which that would make sense that that's meant to like tune up the signal or the picture quality, the fine tuning of it, and stabilize the picture. So that would make sense that if it was a little bit out, the reverberation from the higher volume would cause it to disrupt the picture. So this CRT was part of the marketing load again, and after I had it fixed up, it worked fine. So I was able to sell it for $300, and that was a good one because I didn't have to pay anything for it besides the actual labor to clean it up and get it working again. So thanks, Mr. White, for the awesome donation CRT right there. All right, I've got some notes here, and I thought maybe we could go through them together and talk about some financials. So the 4 TVs, I wound up selling them for a total of $900, and I did have some costs associated with that, which I'm going to break down here for you. I have $80 for the TVs that I gave to Jeff. I have $20 roughly in materials and parts, things like capacitors, solder, electricity, and simple stuff like that in the shop. And then finally, I did get $400 in shop invoice charges. So that's like the labor and stuff for having all 4 of these TVs looked at and brought up to some kind of a good condition to be ready to sell. So I did have a total of $500 in costs. So if you break it down, you subtract revenue from costs, we ended up with about a $400 profit on this job, and we did get to hire the shop out for $400 worth of restoration and repair services. It's always a great win-win situation for the business here at Retro Tech. Again, I did not sell the 220-inch CRTs that Jeff had in the load, the Quasar and the Sony Trinitron. The Trinitron's from the 2000s and has component input as well as S-video and composite. So I wanted to keep it, and the Quasar just looks extra cool. So we're gonna go back and look at Jeff's collection further in a minute, but before that, I wanna have a quick note here. I'm sure somebody's gonna be blowing me up in the comments complaining about the prices of these CRTs, but this was majority a sale between two businesses. So you have a whole lot more going on there. It's a marketing company. These are not just gamers and people in the community that want a CRT. I actually made a great deal for somebody for that restored Magnavox smart TV that only was $100 at the JMU career day and the booth that I had there. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. Now let's go back and have a quick look at some other cool stuff at Jeff's house. All right, I'm going to take you guys through Jeff's basement collection here. You know, one of the things I always get asked about anytime I talk about Jeff's collection is, of course, his collection of Legos. And so I'm going to take a second and get close to these Legos. I don't know much particular about vintage Legos and the Lego collecting hobby, but these things were beautiful, definitely brought back some memories for me as someone who, of course, played with Legos, right? So, an amazing collection there. That's just a small look at it. He had some more, which I'll show you here in a second. But I've gone over his Nintendo collection before in the past, and so it's still really great. A lot of cool stuff, Nintendo Power magazines, cool things on the wall, but the Legos are just really amazing, right? I mean, whew. Just what I need. Another hobby, Jeff. Thank you. Looks like, well, you know, us 40-year-old guys, we can never just run out of things to continue to collect. So thank you, Jeff, for your hospitality. Thank you for getting me those CRTs, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in the future. And let's just, you know, Jeff had some other cool stuff. He was really into skateboarding. So he had a little workshop set up for his skateboards with a cool PlayStation 1 and a really awesome video playback setup with this old just Panasonic TV that he would watch vintage skateboard VHS tapes and DVDs and stuff on. So that was really awesome. I got to sit back and chill and watch some of that. So again, thank you as always, Jeff. Thank you for hanging out and helping me. Definitely did that and helped us. Look, we had a huge windfall of money here, right? I mean, we got $900 in revenue now for the shop. What are we going to do with it? I know what we're going to do with it. I had somebody reach out to me on my Twitter DMs, and well, here's what I did. So I went to a Walmart parking lot, and this is what I picked up. $700. I paid $700 for this. There's a couple of PVMs in here. We've got some 14-inch PVMs. I got two 20-inch PVMs in the trunk of the car. Got some crazy Extron equipment. It's actually two matrix switchers. A whole reel of cabling and some other cool stuff. So ultimately, it's just something goes in, something comes out. Things are always churning here at Retro Tech in the shop. So anyway, hey guys, I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. It's been a long, fun episode. And if you did enjoy this, please do me a favor, leave a like, leave a comment. What did you like most about it? What do you have any predictions for how the CRT market is going to continue in the future? Am I crazy? Probably. But if you do want to help out more, you can always go check out the Patreon page. There's a link to that in the description of this video. Every CRT that you see that is serviced is done for a Patreon member. And if you want to get a CRT, that's also the best way to get in touch with me, is to go straight through the Patreon, and supports everything I do around here. It's not only the reason I get to run this entire awesome shop, but it's the reason I get to make these videos. It's because of people at Patreon. So thank you everybody who does support me and RetroTech on Patreon. Thank you very much. And with all that being said, thank you again for watching. If you do want to leave a cool comment to prove that you were here all the way to the end, why don't you type PVM in the bottom? Just, you know, good old-fashioned PVM. And guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time with some more retro content.